All right. Good morning. My name is Jariva. My pronouns are she and her, and I welcome you to our first Asana Saturday, our Before Yoga Asana Saturday for the new year 2021. So, welcome. Very glad to have you here this morning. So, how are you doing, Charmaine? How is your morning starting off?
Great.
Great.
It's starting off good.
Well, that's good to hear. Well, I'm happy that you're here to start off your Saturday with a nice Vinyasa flow. We are still in Quana, so we are still in the country in the panhandle of Texas. So hopefully we should not have any internet issues. But if you see any lag or anything like that, just know that we are in the country. So um, there are some limitations to that. But today's flow is going to be a welcoming into the new year. And so this flow is going to be about balance. It's going to be about when we set intention, we need to provide balance for ourselves so that we can move forward and accomplish our intention. So at the beginning of this week, we did, of course, had our Meditation Monday. And our Meditation Monday was a guided meditation focused on a year end review process. So part of that was to review 2020 so that we can prepare for our entry into 2021. And so there were two quotes that I read at the end of that guided meditation that really influence today's flow. So those two quotes are, we spend January 1st walking through our lives room by room, drawing up a list of work to be done, cracks to be patched. Maybe this year, to balance the list, we ought to walk through the rooms of our lives, not looking for flaws, but for potential. That's from Ellen Goldman. And then the second one was, I was born with the potential to be the best version of myself possible, and I'm going to find out how me I can be. As I'm growing into my highest potential, I cherish how I am already complete. I am a world learning how much life I can grow and give. So I would invite you all as we move into 2021, as we move into our intention setting, looking at how we want to move into 2021, what we want to accomplish, what we want to cultivate more of in our lives. I would invite you to focus on your potential. I would invite you to focus on cultivating, aligning with your mind, body, and spirit, and cultivating your highest self versus focusing on flaws, cons, or what you need to improve. So in today's flow, as I stated, it will be about balance. So really focusing on moving into balance in our lives, creating that space. And again, focusing on what we can cultivate, what can provide more balance in our lives. So any questions before we move into today's flow, which will be about an hour or so flow?
No.
All right. Well, if there are no questions, of course, this is your practice. So everything that I offer are suggestions. And so it is your choice if you would like to take me up on my suggestions or my invitations, or if you choose to do something different, that is your choice. I will provide you with options, with possibilities, but this is your practice. So do that which serves you. So I invite you to come to a comfortable position on your mat to get started with our flow. I am going to just move into crisscross applesauce or easy seat, but if you want to do something different, feel free to do so. So let me spotlight myself and then we will move into, oops, spotlighted. Oh, there we are. Um, we will move into our flow. So I will meet you on the mat. So again, just find yourself on your mat in a comfortable position, something that feels good to you, feels right in your body, in your mind, in your soul. And if it feels comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. If not, find yourself a soft gaze off in the distance. And from here, begin to really move into your breath, slowing yourself down, embracing this Saturday, our first Saturday of the new year. And just take a moment to be in your inhale and your exhale. Feel the air move up into your belly, expand, growing stronger as it moves into your chest, into your throat, holding there, and then releasing that life-giving force that allows you to do what you do each and every day. Again, feel the power of the inhale as it moves up into your body, holding it at the top, and then allowing it to release. Align yourself with this breath. Let it guide you as you move through your practice. Allow it to align you. Moving you from a space of being in your head, being in your body, to tapping into your higher self. Looking at that me that you are here to be. That divine being having a human experience. And allow for that spirit self to come through as you move through the mat today. To help guide you as you move into this new year. So take a moment to move back into the breath. And when you're ready, flutter open your eyes if they were closed. And we will begin our practice. So from here, if you're not in an easy seat, I would invite you to come to a crisscross applesauce or easy seat. And from here, we're going to start to awaken our body to move us into our flow. So take your right ear to your right shoulder. So moving your head over to the right, starting to feel a stretch in that left side of your neck. From here, let your head fall back, bringing your chin and your gaze up to the sky. Then bring your left ear to your left shoulder. providing that stretch in your right side of your neck. And then let your head fall forward, bringing your chin into your chest. Feeling that stretch in the back of your neck. So again, bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Let your head fall back, lifting your chin up to the sky along with your gaze. Bring your left ear to your left shoulder. And then let your head fall down to the center, bringing your chin to your chest. One more time, this side. So to your right, let your head fall back. Bring your head over to the left. And then let it fall forward. Now we're going to reverse this, doing it 3 more times. So we will start at bringing your left ear to your left shoulder. Letting your head fall back. Lifting your chin up to the sky. Rotate so that your right ear moves towards your right shoulder. And then let your head fall forward, bringing your chin into your chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Gaze up to the sky. Right ear to right shoulder. Gaze down to the mat. One more time. Left, back, right, down. And bring your gaze back into center. And from here, we're going to look over our left shoulder, or excuse me, look over your right shoulder. Bring your gaze back into center. Look over your left shoulder. Gaze back to the front. Right, center, left, center. One more time. Right, center, left, center. Now release your head back. Gaze up to the sky, chin up to the sky. Center, chin down to the chest. Center, chin up to the sky. Center, down, center. One more time. Sky, center, down to the mat, and center. All right. From here, you can do a few shoulder circles. So you can do one at a time, going back, or you can do both, circling the shoulders back, and then reverse, bringing the shoulders forward, again, either one at a time or doing them both at the same time. Just releasing all that morning stiffness that's in your shoulders, that are in your neck, awakening yourself to this Saturday morning. When it feels good, come to some stillness. And from here, we're going to inhale our arms up to the sky. And we're going to exhale, twist over to the right, dropping your right hand behind you and bringing your left hand to your right knee. From here, you're going to inhale, growing long and tall in your spine, shooting the crown of your head up to the ceiling. And then with your exhale, you are going to twist through your torso to look back to the right. Utilize your inhale and your exhale to help you grow tall and to help you twist. From here, inhale your arms back up to the sky, coming back into center. And then exhale, folding over to the left side. So bring your hands down to the earth outside of your left hip and just fold over to the left side. So remember, we talked about this is a flow, about balance. So here, this is a stretch to counteract the twist, provide balance. So just fold over to that left side. From here, inhale your arms back and up to center. Exhale, twisting over to your left, bringing your right hand to your left knee and your left hand directly behind you. From here, utilize your inhale to grow long in your spine, and exhale, twisting over to the left, utilizing your torso to bring your gaze over your left shoulder. Maintain that inhale, allowing it to help you grow tall and twist. Inhale yourself back up through center, arms to the sky. Exhale, falling over to the right side, bringing those hands to rest on the earth outside of your right hip. And then leaning over to counteract that twist. From here, inhale your arms up to the sky. Exhale them in front of you. Now you have options here. You can roll over your legs to move into your tabletop, or if that is not comfortable for you, you can get into your tabletop however you feel best. But you can move, doing what feels good to your body, and we will all meet in our neutral tabletop position. Tabletop means your back is flat. Your wrists are directly under your shoulders. Your knees are directly under your hips. Your spine is long, your neck is long, and your gaze is down to the mat. From here, we're going to do 5 rounds of cat-cow. So you can move utilizing your inhale and your exhale to move you through cow and cat, or you can do any other movement that feels good to your body that awakens you to the Saturday morning, but we will all move into that now. So if you are doing cat-cow, you will inhale, dropping your belly down to the mat, bringing your tailbone and gaze up for cow. Exhale, shooting the back of your heart up to the sky, tucking in your chin and tailbone for cat. Inhale, releasing your belly down, utilizing those hands to push your heart forward for cow. Exhale, bringing the back up to the sky, pushing through those hands to really round in that spine. 3 more breaths, doing your thing at your own pace. one more round. And we will meet in a neutral tabletop position. From here, you will tuck in your toes and you will lift up, moving into a high plank. So that may mean that you need to stretch yourself out, moving your toes back, but do so now. You can also stay in your tabletop. But if you're in a high plank, your hips should be in alignment with the rest of your body. They should not be dipped down too low or raised too high. So from our high plank, we're going to move into lizard lunge. So what you're going to do is you're going to step your right foot to the right edge of your mat near your hands. So it's a big step forward. Now you may not be directly beside your hands. You may be behind your hands, which is fine. But the most important thing is that your foot is on the right outer edge of the mat or off of the mat for your lizard lunge. From here, you're going to drop that back knee down to the mat, untuck that toe, and we will sit here for a moment to stretch out and open up those hips for our practice. Now you can remain on your hands, or if you're feeling ready, you can go ahead and drop down to your forearms. It's early in our flow, so you may not be that flexible. You're still waking up those hips, those joints, but do that which feels good. From here, you're going to tuck that back toe, lift that knee off the ground, and bring that right foot to meet the left back in your high plank. From here, we're going to step that left foot up to the left edge of our mat, near our left hand to the outside of it. For our lizard lunge to the left, we will drop that back knee down to the mat, untuck that toe, and we will pause here in our lizard lunge. Again, if you have that flexibility early in the practice, feel free to move to your forearms or stay right here on your palms. Again, it's about doing what feels good in your body, doing that which serves and is alignment with your practice today. From here, tuck in that back toe, lift that knee off of the mat, bring that left foot back to meet the right in high plank. Drop your knees down to the mat in tabletop. Bring those big toes to touch, and then shift your hips back and down for child's pose. In your child's pose, your legs can be out wide, or they can be directly underneath you. Your arms can be extended out long, or they can fall alongside your body. You can rest your forehead on the mat, on the block, or a bolster. Your hips may not meet your heels. So if it's comfortable, you can always roll up a towel or a blanket and place it in between your heels and your hips. Take this moment to return to the breath. Inhale in for the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then sigh it all out through your mouth. Do that one more time. Inhale in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhale it out. From here, we're going to move through our tabletop, tuck in our toes, and push our hips up and back into our first downward facing dog of our practice. In this downward facing dog, you can pedal out your feet, bend in your knees, rock side to side, do whatever helps you settle and feel good in your downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, you are moving your torso towards your thighs. Your gaze is down between your feet to the back of your mat. Your hands are rooted firmly into the mat. Your fingers are spread out wide, far apart. Your shoulders are broadened, moving away from your ears. And your legs can be bent. They can have a micro bend. And the aim is to move those heels towards the mat. Now, they may not be on the mat, but you are pressing down those heels, driving them towards the mat. From here, you will bring your gaze forward. You will bend in the knee, and you will begin to step your feet slowly up to meet your hands at the top of the mat, the forward fold. From here, you can lift halfway up, either maintaining your hands on the mat or coming up to your ankle, shins, or thighs. Your back is flat. You're making a number 7 with your body. Your neck is long. Your shoulders are moved away from your ears, down your spine, and your gaze is out about 2 to 3 feet. From here, release down into your forward fold, bringing your torso towards your thigh. You can do so by bending in the knees. And then from here, inhale yourself up slowly into high mountain. Bring your hands up to the sky along with your gaze. In your high mountain, your soles of your feet are rooted firmly into your mat. You are activated from the sole of your feet to the crown of your head. You are engaged in your core, and your gaze is up to the sky. From here, we are going to drop down into chair. So you can keep your hands lifted up to the sky, or you can bring your hands into heart center. Whatever feels good, those are your options. Or you can do something else that feels good to you. But from here, you're going to sit yourself back like you're sitting in the chair. And in this pose, you want to look down. Your feet may have some space between them, or they can be close together, toes, big toes touching each other. Most important thing is that you can see your toes. You want to be able to see your toes, you should be sitting back on your heels. If you can't see your toes, you need to shift back. Now, in your chair, your back should be flat, so you should not be caving in or arching. From here, you're going to tilt your weight forward, shift your weight forward, hands at heart center, and we are going to twist over to the right, hooking our left elbow to the outside of our right knee. Now, if you look down, your right knee should be even with your left knee. So if it's shifted forward, shift it back. Make them even. Your gaze should be out to the right. And you should be moving your hands to heart center. Now, they may not be at heart center, but that is the goal, is to be moving towards heart center. From here, you can open up your arms if you would like, And then we'll come back into center, hands at prayer. From here, we will shift forward, bring that right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Look down to make sure that our knees are even. Twist ourselves over to that left side. Again, moving those hands to heart center as much as possible. And if you would like, you can open up your arms here, dropping that right arm down and lifting that left arm to the sky. Bring your hands back into heart center to prayer. Come back into center and release that forward fold. Lift up into your halfway lift and drop down to your forward fold. Plant your hands into the mat and step yourself either back into a high plank or a tabletop. From here, you're in that high plank, shift forward onto your toes, and everyone will drop slowly down to your belly. Once you're on your belly, untuck your toes. Move those hands probably an inch or two out in front of you. And then lift up, shooting that heart forward, engaging in your core for baby pose. Shining that heart forward. Release your heart down to the mat. Tuck in those toes. Lift up either to tabletop or high plank. And then shift yourself back into downward facing dog. From here, bring your gaze forward, bend in your knees, and take a step forward, maybe 1 or 2, 3 steps forward, so that your hands and your feet meet at the top of the mat in a forward fold. From here, lift halfway up, and then release into your forward fold. Circle sweep those arms up to the sky, coming into your high mountain. And bring those hands into heart center, then dropping those hips down into your chair. Again, do those checks, looking at your toes, aligning in your spine, so that you're sitting down in your chair. From here, tilt forward, and you're going to hook the right elbow to the outside of the left knee, looking down at those knees to make sure that there's an alignment for a twist to the left. Open up those arms, if you would like. Left arm up to the sky, right arm down. Bring your hands back into heart center. Come back into center in your chair. Then tilt forward and hook that left elbow to the outside of the right knee for a twist to the right. Open up those arms you would like. So right arm up to the sky, left arm down. Bring those hands back to heart center and come back into center in your chair. Release into your forward fold. Come up into your halfway lift. Exhale into your forward fold. Plant your hands into the mat. Step back into either your high plank or your tabletop. If you're in your high plank, shift forward onto your tiptoes, and everyone will lower down to the mat. Once you have reached the mat, untuck your toes, and then shift your hands out about 2 inches or so. Push up through the tops of your feet so that your knees are lifted off the mat. Engage in your core and push and lift your chest off of the mat for cobra. So your chest should be lifted completely off of the mat. Your gaze should be out in front of you. Your pelvis should be on the mat. From here, exhale your body down to the mat. Bring your hands back directly under your shoulders, tucking your toes, and move through either tabletop or high plank to get back to your downward facing dog. From here, inhale your right leg up to the sky for a three-legged dog. So three-legged dogs, your hips are neutral, they're not stacked. Your foot is flat, so your toes should be moving towards the mat. From here, you're going to roll forward, stepping that right foot through, and you may have to help it to get to a low runner's lunge. From here, you will drop that back knee down to the mat, untuck those back toes, and begin to lift your chest up, sitting those arms and hands up to the sky for a low crescent lunge. From here, we're going to cactus our arms, so kind of a goal post to the side, cactusing those arms, shooting our heart forward, pinching those shoulder blades in, moving those elbows to the back. Then release those arms up to the sky. Circle those arms down, bringing those hands to your lower back. You will interlace those hands so that they have a firm grasp. And from here, you're going to begin to tilt yourself forward, bringing your torso to the inside of that right leg for a kneeling humble warrior. You can keep your clasped hands onto your lower back, or you can lift them up to the sky to get deeper into this humble warrior. From here, bring your hands back down to your lower back if they're lifted. Unclasp them and drop your hands to frame your right foot on the mat. From here, tuck in your back toes. Lift your back knee off of the mat to come into your low runner's lunge. And from here, you want to plant yourself solely on the mat so you can lift yourself up for high crescent lunge. So you're basically doing the same thing, but lifted. So your front leg is bent 90 degrees or less. Your back leg is extended out long. You are up on your back tiptoes. Your thighs are scissoring in towards one another to help you balance in the standing posture. From here, you're going to cactus your arms. And then you're going to extend them back up for your high crescent. Circle your arms down, bring them to your lower back. Interlace your fingers. And from here, drop your heel down to the mat so that you're in a warrior one position with your hands to your lower back. So that means your heel is on the mat and your toes are angled at a 45-degree angle towards the top left corner of your mat. From here, you're going to lift your heart forward, basically bringing those shoulder blades in to one another, bringing them down your spine. And then you're going to exhale, tilting forward for your humble warrior. Bringing your torso to the inside of that right leg. Your hands can be on your lower back, and then you lift it up to the sky. Your hands are lifted, drop into your lower back. and release them down to the mat, framing your front foot. Come up on those back toes so that you're in your low runner's lunge. And then you can do a vinyasa flow, but we all will meet in downward facing dog. So if you're taking a vinyasa flow, you will step that front foot to meet the back in high plank. You can drop to tabletop. You will lower down all the way to the mat or halfway. You will come up to either baby cobra, cobra, upward facing dog. Recognizing that upward facing dog, only the tops of your feet and your hands are on the mat. Everything else is lifted. And then from here, you'll push, exhaling into your downward facing dog. Again, your vinyasa is always optional. You can go directly into your downward facing dog or move to tabletop or child's pose. So from here, inhale your left leg up to the sky for three-legged dog. And then exhale, stepping it through, perhaps helping it out to get to your low runner's lunge. From here, you'll drop that back knee down to the mat, untuck those back toes, and lift yourself up into a low crescent lunge. Cactus those arms, shooting that heart forward. Gaze up to the sky. Come back into your low crescent lunge, lifting those arms up to the sky. Circle those arms down so that they're interlaced behind you. And this time, do the awkward grip. So put the opposite thumb on top this time in your clasp. And then from here, tilt yourself forward, bringing your torso to the inside of that left leg for a kneeling humble warrior. Your hands can remain on your back, or you can lift them up to the sky to get deeper in that fold. If they are lifted, bring them back down to your back. Unclasp and bring your hands down to frame that front foot on the mat. Tuck in those back toes. Lift that back knee off of the mat for a low runner's lunge. Get yourself settled. And then begin to lift yourself up, coming into your high crescent lunge. Cactus your arms. And then lift them back up for your high crescent lunge. Circle your arms. They come to your lower back. And again, clasp them in the awkward grip. Release that back heel down to the mat so that you're in your warrior one stance. Toes angled to the top right corner of the mat, a 45-degree angle. From here, inhale, really growing long and tall in that spine, lifting your heart up, moving those shoulders down your spine. And then exhale, bending forward, bringing that torso to the inside of that left leg for your humble warrior. If your arms are lifted, bring them back down to your back. Release that clasp. Bring your hands down to frame that front foot on the mat. Lift up onto your back toe so you're back in your low runner's lunge. And take whatever flow you want to return home to downward facing dog. So that may be tabletop, that may be high plank, maybe cobra, cobra, facing dog. It may be cat cow. It may simply be downward facing dog. So from here, in your downward facing dog, We're going to inhale that right leg up to the sky. And we're going to exhale, stepping it through for our low runner's lunge. From here, you will drop that back heel down to the mat, toes angled at the 45-degree angle to the top left corner of your mat. And windmill your arms up, coming into your warrior two. In your warrior two, your front leg is bent 9 degrees or less. Your back leg is straight. Your foot is planted solely into your mat. Your arms are out to a T. Your torso is directly over your hips. Your gaze is out, looking over your middle finger to the front. From here, you will flip that front palm up to the sky, and you will bring it up and back to reverse your warrior. That back hand will come and fall somewhere on that back leg. You will move through your warrior two to come into extended side angle. So an extended side angle, your right elbow can rest on your right thigh, or you can bring your hand down to a block, the mat, or your ankle. Your left arm sweeps up and over so that your left bicep is right near your left ear. You are opening up your heart to the left, so that may mean that you need to rotate your chest up to the left side, and then your gaze comes back up to the sky through your left armpit. From here, you'll come back into your warrior two. And then we're going to move into star, which means that you're going to rotate, shifting over to the left side of your mat. When you do, your feet should be parallel to the top and back of your mat. Your arms are spread wide out up to the sky, and your legs are out wide straight. From here, you're going to bring your heels in, toes out, and we're going to drop into our goddess. Now you can have your hands at heart center if that's comfortable for you. You can have your hands on your knees, or you can have your hands out, goalpost arms. When you're looking down at your legs, your knees should be tracking over your ankles, and your knees should be shifted back. They should not be falling in. From here, release your hands down to your knees if they're not there already. And from here, we will drop our right shoulder down and bring our gaze up over our left shoulder. Utilizing the right hand to push that right leg back. And we will switch, dropping our left shoulder down, bringing our gaze up and back over that right shoulder. Come back up and shoot yourself back up into star. And from here, we're going to do warrior two to the back of our mat. So that means that your left leg will bend and your right leg will be extended out long behind you. From here, you're going to straighten that left leg, flip your front palm, and move into reverse triangle. Come back through, shifting forward so that you can move into triangle. So in triangle, you're going to lower that left hand down to the mat, a block, your ankle, shin, wherever it's comfortable. And that right arm will be extended up to the sky. From here, you will lift yourself up, coming back into star. You will bring your hands to your waist. And from here, look down at your feet. Make sure they're either parallel to the edges of the mat, so the top and back edges of the mat, or your toes are coming in, heels out. We're going to begin to tilt ourselves forward, coming into a wide leg forward fold. So your hands can come down to the mat. Your feet can be as far apart as is comfortable for you, so they can be closer in, or you can scoot them out. From here, you will begin to walk your hands to the front of your mat to frame your right foot at the front of the mat, the low runner's lunge. You will step that right foot back to meet the left in high plank. You can drop the tabletop, move down to half push-up or all the way down to the mat, come up in your back bend of choice, and push back into downward facing dog. Again, remember, Vinyasa flows are optional. So even though I cue them, no, you don't have to do them. You can go straight into your downward facing dog, drop into child's pose or tabletop. From here, lift your left leg up to the sky for three-legged dog. And exhale, stepping it through into your low runner's lunge. Drop that back heel down to the mat and windmill your arms up for warrior two. Flip that front palm and reverse your warrior, sending it up and back. Come through warrior two to move into extended side angle. So in the extended side angle, your left elbow comes to your left thigh, or your left hand comes down to the mat, a block, or your ankle. The right arm sweeps up and over so that your right bicep is near your right ear. Your heart shoots over to the right side, and your gaze is up to the back sky. Come back through warrior two. And then shift yourself over to the right side of your mat or star. So again, you are making a star with your body. Your arms are lifted up to the sky, out wide, as well as your legs are rooted firmly into the mat, far apart. Everything is facing to the right side of your mat. From here, you will bring your heels in, toes out, and you will drop into your goddess. So again, in your goddess, your hands can be out at goalpost arms or cactus-like arms. Your hands can be at heart center. They can be on your knees. Most important thing is that you're sinking down to your goddess. Your knees are tracking over your ankles, and your knees are moving back. From here, drop your hands to your knees and dip your left shoulder down over your right. Come back to the center. Dip that right shoulder down, looking over your left shoulder. Come back through center. And then shoot yourself back up into a star. And then come into warrior two at the back of your mat. So that means that your front leg will be your right leg, which is 90 degrees or less. And your back leg will be your left leg, which is straight. You'll put it into the mat. Arms are out to a T. Hips are stacked, torso stacked over your hips. From here, you'll straighten that front leg. Flip that from calm and move into reverse triangle. And then come back to warrior two arms, releasing that right hand down to the mat, your ankle or your shin, lifting that left arm up to the sky for triangle. From here, lift up into star to the right side of the mat. Bring your hands to your waist and begin to fold forward into your right-legged forward fold, dropping your hands down to the mat. And then again, bring your feet out wherever it's comfortable so that you can get into your version of wide-legged forward fold. From here, walk your hands to the front of the mat, planting that left foot at the top of the mat, a low runner's lunge. And from here, we will all meet in downward facing dog. If you're taking the Vinyasa flow, this will be your last Vinyasa flow of our session. All right. So we are back in our downward facing dog. From here, you will bend in your knees, bring your gaze forward, and you will hop, step, or float to the top of the mat in a forward fold. Come up into your halfway lift, or number 7 with your body. And then release down into your forward fold. Circle sweep your arms up to the sky or high mountain. And then bring your hands down into heart center. From here, I want you to shift your weight over to your right leg, activating that leg, planting that foot, and rooting it into the mat so that you can begin to lift that left foot up off of the mat for your three-legged mountain. Now from here, we're going to move into warrior 3. Now you have many options. You can grab your blocks and place them out in front of you so that you can utilize your blocks to help you move into warrior 3. So, or you do not have to have them. You can just begin to lean forward, shooting that back leg out towards the back of the room, making a letter L with your body. That back foot should be flexed, toes facing down to the mat. Now, if you have your blocks, you can have them at their highest height, and you can rest your hands on the blocks to help you in this warrior 3 posture. Also, another option, if you're not utilizing blocks, hands can remain at heart center, but you can bring your leg down closer to the earth so that you're not so lifted, and so that if you need to bring your toe down, you can at any point. You can also just rest your toe on the mat. So you have many options of possibilities in your warrior 3. But we are all in our version, our possibility for warrior 3. And from here, we will all lower our hands to either blocks or the mat for standing L. So if your hands are already on a block, what you want to do is move your torso back towards your standing leg. That lifted leg should be up And that back foot should be flexed, toes towards the mat. From here, bending that front knee slightly and bring the lifted leg and that foot down to meet the front foot in the forward fold. From here, come up into your halfway lift, drop down to your forward fold. Inhale, circle sweeping those arms up to the sky for high mountain. And then exhale, bringing those hands through heart center. From here, begin to shift over, activating that left leg, placing the weight into that left foot, and begin to lift that right foot off of the mat, bringing it up for three-legged mountain. That means that that right thigh will be perpendicular to that right hip. From here, you will begin to send that lifted leg back to your version of warrior 3. If you have your leg lifted, remember drishti. So you want to find a point off in the distance and focus on that point. It will help you with your balance. If that leg is lifted, make that letter L with your body. And that foot will remain flexed. From here, we will all lower, bring our hands to blocks or mat. We're standing L, bringing that torso closer to that left thigh. Bend in that leg, that left leg, and release that right foot down to the mat next to that left foot. From here, plant your hands into the mat and step your feet back for a high plank. Release your knees down to the mat for tabletop. And from here, in your tabletop, you're going to inhale that right arm up to the sky, bringing your gaze up to meet that right hand. And then swoop that right hand down through to thread the needle. So your hand will go through the opening under your left arm, bent arm. You will bring your shoulder and the right side of your face to rest on the mat. Now you can keep your left hand where it is, or you can extend it out long to the left top corner of your mat. Most important thing is that you are putting some weight on that right shoulder to provide some stretch and opening up of that shoulder. If that left arm is extended, bring the left hand back under your left shoulder. And from here, you're going to inhale that right arm back up to the sky. And then exhale, dropping it back down to the mat so that you come back into your neutral tabletop. We will do the same thing on the other side. So inhale that left arm up to the sky with your gaze following that left hand. And then exhale, threading that left hand through, releasing the left side of your face down to the mat, and placing that your weight forward, provide some stretch in that left shoulder. Your right hand can be where it is, or you can extend it out long to the right top corner of your mat. bring that right hand back underneath your right shoulder. Push through that right hand, inhaling the left arm back up to the sky. And exhale, dropping that left hand down to the mat or your tabletop. From here, you're going to lower yourself all the way down to the mat. And you are going to bring your arms out to a T on either side of you. And from here, you're going to begin to roll onto your right side body, bringing your left foot to the mat behind your right knee. So your left leg will be bent with the sole of your foot resting on the earth behind your right leg. So that you're rotated and split over onto your right side, your right arm extended out behind you. Again, so this is another shoulder opening, but doing so opposite way. So again, this is about balance. So this is counteracting the stretch that we did in our shoulder just a moment. Come back down. So return back to center, bringing your belly back down to the mat and releasing that bent leg, bring it out long behind you. And from here, we're going to roll over onto our left side, bringing our right leg up and over so that the sole of our right foot rests behind our left leg and our right knee is bent up to the sky. Our left arm is out behind us to, again, provide a shoulder stretch, a shoulder opening for that left side. Come back to center. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and begin to push yourself up, making your way into a seat. So bringing your bum down to the mat. So from here, you want to rock and settle, maybe moving some of your booty out of the way so that you're sitting solidly and securely on your mat. The soles of your feet are planted on the mat. Your knees are up to the sky, a constructive rest pose. And from here, we're going to move into boat. So you have several options in your boat. One of those options is you can place your hands behind you, fingers facing back towards your body. And then you can come up onto your tips of your toes, leaning back for this version of boat. Another option is for you to raise your legs up, feet flexed, but still sitting back on your hands. And then the other option, besides a straight leg boat, but the one I will be doing, is that I will bring my arms out so that I'm long in my torso, my legs are parallel to the mat, and I'm holding my boat here. So we will continue to hold for 5 breaths, or the count of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower your feet down to the mat. Bring your hands behind you. Again, fingertips facing back into your body. Bring your feet about hip width distance apart. And then push through your hands, lifting your whole body off of the mat into reverse tabletop. So you are making a tabletop, but with your front side of your body versus our traditional tabletop with the back side of our body. Your head and neck should be long. From here, release your bum down to the mat. And from here, extend your legs out long in front of you for staff pose. From here, inhale your arms up to the sky. And exhale, fold forward for a seated forward fold. Now in your seated forward fold, know that your hands fall where they need to fall. That may be that they rest on the mat. They rest on blocks. They rest in your thigh, your knee, your shin, your ankle, somewhere on your foot or your toes. Your knees can be bent or they can be straight. Whatever feels good in your body, whatever provides release and stretch in your body, do that now. From here, inhale your arms up to the sky. Exhale, dropping them down behind you. Again, making sure that your fingertips face in towards your body. And that should be behind you, probably about 2 to 3 inches behind you to either side of your hips. And from here, we're going to do a reverse plank. So you will point in your toes, come up on your heels, push through your hands, lifting your pelvis up to the sky. Again, your neck is long, your head falls back. Your legs are straight. Release down to the mat. Then from here, we're going to bring our right leg in, planting the right sole of our foot into the inside of our left thigh. We will inhale our arms up to the sky. We will turn over to our left leg, and then we will exhale, hinging forward, stretching over that left leg. From here, keep your your left hand planted where it is. So wherever it's fallen, allow it to remain there. And begin to rotate your heart up and over to the right. And your right arm should be lifted and draped over your head with your hands moving towards that left foot. So you're basically opening up your heart to the side for a different type of stretch. From here, lift up, bringing your hands out to a T. Drop your right hand to the outside of your right hip. Push through that right hand, lifting up onto that right shin, and then bring your left arm up and back so that you're in a stargazer position. So your heart is open up to the sky, and you're in your version of a back bend. From here, release yourself back down to the mat, and we will do the same on the other side. So bring your right leg out and bring the sole of your left foot to rest to the inside of your right thigh. From here, inhale your arms up to the sky. Turn yourself over to the right and exhale, hinging forward over that right leg. Grip down with that right hand, wherever it falls on your right leg. And begin to rotate your body over to the left, opening your heart over to the left, and allowing your left arm to drape over the top. Again, feeling that stretch in your left side body. From here, bring your arms out to a T. Drop that left hand to the outside of your left thigh. Push into your left hand, lifting yourself up onto that left shin, coming into your version of stargazer. Hips are up and high, heart is open, and your head is released into the back leg. Release yourself back down to the mat. And then what you'll do is bring your feet in, coming into a constructive rest pose. So the soles of your feet will rest on the mat. Your knees will be lifted up to the sky. You're going to bring your hands behind you. And from here, we're going to move into a seated figure four. So in your seated figure four, you are going to shift those heels or those feet forward to allow you to move into your figure four. If your knees are close to your body, it's going to make it somewhat difficult to cross your right ankle over your left leg. So shift those feet forward, give you a little bit more space, make a little room for yourself. And then lift and cross that right ankle over that left thigh. Make sure that foot stays flexed and bent. And from here, begin to drag or lift that that left foot into your body. Now, if the left foot was out and you could go stretch and that was good enough for you, it can stay there. If you need to go a little bit more stretch, bring that left foot into your body, feel that stretch, and then begin to push up on those hands. And you should start to feel that stretch in your right hamstring. If you need a little bit more stretch, begin to move your butt towards that left foot. And again, utilize those hands to grow tall in the spine and move your torso towards that bent legs. It's just a different version of our figure four stretch. You can do it on our back, or you always have the option of pigeon as well. But the main thing is to feel that stretch in our hamstring, in our hip area. From here, shoot that left foot out to release that seated figure four stretch. Drop your right foot down to the mat, and then bring your left ankle over that right thigh. Again, if this is enough for you, you can remain here. Another option is for you to bring that right foot closer into your body, pushing up and through those hands. And then another is to bring your bum in closer to that right foot, give you additional stretch and move you closer into those bent legs. This may feel different on one side than the other. That is natural, that is normal. One side may be tighter than the other, or looser than the other. From here, shoot that right foot forward, provide release. Bring that left foot down to rest beside the right foot on the mat. And you have the option to release your back down to the mat. Or another option is to bring your hands out in front of you and to release down to the mat slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Once you are down on the mat, you can bring your feet together so the soles of your feet touch, dropping your knees out wide to the side for a supine bound angle or a reclined butterfly. If you need support, you can always bring bolster or blocks for your knees to rest on. And here you can keep your arms extended out long beside you, or you can bring your hands, one to rest on your heart, one to rest on your stomach. Again, this is counterbalancing, counteracting that figure or stretch that we just did. Again, keeping us aligned, keeping us balanced. And from here, I invite you to do whatever posture or pose is calling your name. This will be our final pose before we move into our rest pose, which is Shavasana. So I am going to move into waterfall, but if waterfall is not calling your name, feel free to do what serves you, what feels good in your body. So if you would like to move to waterfall with me, basically bring your knees in together, lift your knees and your feet off of the mat, and bring your feet up to the sky. So basically you're doing staff pose, legs extended out long, but your feet are up towards the sky like you're standing on the ceiling. Now you can place a block underneath your sacrum, provide you with a little support. And wherever you are, if that's waterfall or happy baby or some other pose, I invite you to move now into your version of Shavasana. So that may be extending your arms and your legs out long on the mat, letting your feet fall to where it's comfortable, perhaps placing a rolled up blanket or a pillow underneath your head for additional support. Or maybe that's sitting in a bound angle, lying in a bound angle, sitting with your back against the wall, sitting in a chair or bed, whatever feels good, whatever is calling your name, whatever will allow you to renew, refresh, incorporate this practice into your being, align with the balance that we have cultivated in this practice. Do that now. So get comfortable in your version of Shavasana. Allow everything to fall away. Allow all tension that may be in your body to just release right here, right now. Close your eyes if that is comfortable. And allow the inhale and exhale to move you to a place of stillness, a place of calm, a place of rest. And when the time comes for us to move into the rest of our Saturday, I will guide you out of Shavasana. So the time has come for us to return to our Saturday if you are ready. If you're not, know that Shavasana is available and here for you. You can remain right where you are. But if you're ready to move into your Saturday, I invite you to reawaken your body by circling your wrist, your ankles, wiggling your toes, your fingertips. Maybe shaking your head, yes. Shaking your head, no. Extending your arms out long into a good morning stretch. Doing that which brings you back to this moment, to the here and now. And when you're ready, rotate over to your favorite side and move up into a comfortable seat. I would like to thank you for joining me on today's practice, the first practice of our new year, a practice that moves us into balance, recognizing the me that we are here to be, cultivating our potential, cultivating all that we want to manifest and create more in our life. And I close today's practice with this from Dr. Daniel Lee Morgan. I clean the windows of my mind that I may see the light in the mirror of my soul. Thank you for going on this journey with me today. The divine light in me recognizes, honors, and celebrates the divine light in you. I close this practice with a Shay, and so it is. Thank you. How was that for you?
It was good. I needed to stretch.
Well,
Getting
good.
all stiff. I got to learn how to incorporate my breathing.
Yeah, the breath
Concentrating on the learning.
poses. Yeah, and
Yeah, I be concentrating on that. I forget to breathe.
yeah. And I think once you start doing it more, your breath will become more natural with it. And a lot of times, to be truthful, I don't focus on the breath, but I can tell when it becomes more intense and I can feel my breath becoming more rapid, I then tune into the breath. So I go back into the breath to allow calm and centeredness to move back into me. So I don't always, I think a lot of people don't focus, it's hard to at times to focus on your breath the entire practice. So offer yourself some grace there and just know that the breath is always there to move you back into alignment when you're needing it.
Yeah.
All right.
All righty.
All right. Well, if there's not anything else, then thank you for joining me, and I will see you at our next time together, which will be Monday, Meditation Monday. All right. Have a good rest of your Saturday.
All righty, Rue.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.